Level 1. The Private. You're 18. You're eating breakfast when the letter arrives. Brown envelope, ohms in the corner. Your mother reads it twice, then puts the kettle on because she doesn't know what else to do. 3 weeks later, you're standing in a barracks with 40 other boys who've never held a rifle. They shave your head. They hand you a uniform that doesn't fit. They pay you 2 shillings a day, 14 shillings a week, 36 pounds a year. An American private earns nearly 3 times what you do. You don't complain. Complaining gets you noticed. 6 weeks of basic training. Then, 14 more weeks learning to be infantry. They give you a Lee Enfield rifle, a spike bayonet, a steel helmet that weighs 2 pounds, and wool battle dress that soaks up rain like a sponge. You learn to dig a slit trench in 20 minutes. You learn to eat bully beef cold from a tin. You learn that the Bren gun jams if you don't clean it every night. Then, they ship you to Normandy. You're in a rifle company now, 120 men. You make up 20% of the battalion's strength. You will take 70% of the casualties. The first time artillery falls, your bowels turn to water. Nobody mentions it. Half the platoon did the same. By August 1944, all 7 British infantry divisions in Normandy have lost 3/4 of their original men. The math isn't complicated. In an infantry rifle company, survival is a coin flip. You keep your head down. You watch the man next to you catch shrapnel in the throat, and 20 minutes later, you're eating your rations because the sergeant says you need to eat. You carry a photograph in your breast pocket. Her name is Mary, or Joan, or Dorothy. You haven't written home in 3 weeks. What would you say? Dear Mum, watched a man drown in his own blood today. Weather's been fine. The Army censors your letters anyway. They black out anything real. Level 2. Lance Corporal. You survived 6 months. Someone noticed. Now, you're second in command of a section. 10 men. Your pay jumps to 3 shillings 3 pence. A 62% raise for 200% more responsibility. Your job is the Bren gun group. 3 men, 1 light machine gun, 500 rounds. When the section attacks, you provide covering fire while the rifle group advances. Your hands shake when you load the magazine. You tell yourself it's the cold. If the corporal gets killed, you take command. If the section gets pinned down because you're suppressing the wrong position, those deaths are on you. You're 19 years old. The promotion came fast. That's because NCO casualties run high. The Germans know what a Lance Corporal looks like. They know you give orders. In combat, that makes you a target. You don't wear anything different, but somehow snipers find you anyway. Level 3. Corporal. You command the section now. 8 to 10 men, 4 shillings a day. You carry a Sten submachine gun, which marks you as leadership, which marks you for death. Some corporals ditch the Sten and carry a rifle instead. You decide whether that's cowardice or wisdom. Your mouth goes dry before every assault. You can't swallow. You go anyway. You lead the rifle group forward while the Bren group covers. You make decisions in seconds that determine who lives. You write letters to mothers. Your son died bravely. You don't mention that he died screaming, or that he died for a hedgerow you abandoned the next morning. The Army doesn't want those details. Neither do the mothers. In peacetime, reaching corporal takes years. In Normandy, capable men make it in 6 months, because the capable men ahead of them are dead. Level 4. Sergeant. You're the platoon sergeant now, second in command of 36 men. 6 shillings a day, 3 times what a new private earns. You get access to the sergeant's mess, better food, alcohol, a place to sit that isn't mud. Your wife sends letters. You read them by torchlight in a slit trench. She writes about rationing in the Anderson shelter and whether you'll be home for Christmas. You write back about the weather. You never mention the faces. The platoon commander is a second lieutenant. He's 21, fresh from officer training, never seen combat. You've been fighting for 2 years. He has education and rank. You have experience and the respect of the men. If he's smart, he listens to you. If he's not smart, he's dead within a week. And you're commanding the platoon anyway. When the lieutenant dies, you take over. No ceremony, no paperwork. Just 36 men looking at you for orders while mortar rounds drop. You're the one who keeps the platoon alive, while the Army feeds you replacement lieutenants who last an average of 3 weeks. Level 5. Warrant Officer. Regimental Sergeant Major. The highest rank an enlisted man can reach. 12 shillings a day, 1 per battalion. You hold a royal warrant, not a commission. On the parade ground, even officers follow your commands. You've served through every enlisted rank. You've buried men you trained. You've watched boys become soldiers and soldiers become corpses. The standing orders say the discipline and good conduct of the company depend upon your zeal ability, and integrity. In practice, you keep 800 men functioning while the officers make decisions that get them killed. Some warrant officers receive late entry commissions. They become officers, but the old money regiments never quite accept them. You're a temporary gentleman now, which means you're not really a gentleman at all. Level 6, Second Lieutenant. You're 21. You earn 11 shillings a day. You command a platoon of 37 men. Most of them are older than you. Your platoon sergeant has more combat experience than you will ever accumulate, because you won't live long enough to accumulate it. In Normandy, junior infantry officers have a 1 in 10 chance of surviving unscathed. 1 in 10. The casualty rate for second lieutenants is 204 per 1,000, 4 times the rate for captains, 6 times the rate for generals. You die at these rates because you lead from the front. You carry a pistol instead of a rifle. You read maps, which makes you stand still. German snipers are trained to identify the man giving orders. Level 7, Captain. You command a company now, 120 to 150 men, 16 shillings 6 pence daily. You've survived long enough that survival itself is suspicious. Most of the men you trained with are dead. By 1944, some company commanders are 23 years old, leading 150 men into combat, writing condolence letters by candlelight, deciding which platoon takes point, knowing that taking point means taking casualties. You wanted promotion. Promotion found you. Now you understand that every step up is a step deeper into a machine designed to consume men. Level 8, Lieutenant Colonel. You command a battalion, 800 men, 4 rifle companies, a headquarters company, a support company. You know these men by name. You've trained with them, eaten with them, and now you make decisions that kill them. In Normandy, a battalion might lose 30 to 50% of its strength in days. You don't see them die. You read reports, casualty figures, replacement requests. But you remember teaching a corporal to read maps 6 months ago, and now his name is on a list, and he's never going home. At Arnhem, John Frost held the bridge with 740 men of the 2nd Parachute Battalion. 4 days against 2 SS Panzer divisions. 8 of 9 battalion commanders in the 1st Airborne were killed or captured. The division lost 80% of its men. Montgomery called it 90% successful. Level 9, Major General. You command a division, 15,000 men. Your headquarters sits miles behind the front. You have staff officers, aides, drivers, a cook. You sleep in a bed. You eat hot food. You haven't heard a rifle shot in months, but you see the casualty reports every morning. A division in heavy fighting can lose 1,000 men in a week. You decide which brigade attacks. You decide when to commit the reserve. You decide whether to push forward or consolidate. Every decision trades lives for ground, ground for time, time for objectives that someone above you deemed worth the cost. At Arnhem, the 1st Airborne Division was destroyed waiting for relief that never came. Major General Roy Urquhart was cut off from his headquarters for 36 hours, much of it spent hiding in an attic, while his men died around a bridge they couldn't hold. You wear red tabs on your collar now. You attend conferences with men who smile and shake your hand and would take your command tomorrow if they could. Churchill sacks generals the way other men change shirts. You could be next. You're always next. You tell yourself someone has to make these decisions. You tell yourself you're saving lives by making them well. Some nights, you almost believe it. Level 10, Field Marshal. You command armies, hundreds of thousands of men, entire theaters of war. Your decisions cascade across continents. History will remember your name, whether as hero or butcher, depends on who wins. Montgomery commanded the 8th Army at El Alamein, 190,000 men attacking across a 40-mile front, a barrage from nearly 1,000 guns. 13,560 casualties. Churchill said, "Before Alamein, we never had a victory. After Alamein, we never had a defeat." What Churchill didn't mention was that 2,350 of those casualties were dead. These were the field marshals. They won the war. They also spent it making decisions that killed tens of thousands of the men who trusted them. That's what command means at the top. You don't carry a rifle. You carry the weight. The math is simple. 3.5 million men served in the British Army from 1939 to 1945. 569,000 became casualties. Everyone served the same king. Not everyone paid the same price. This was the British Army. Not a brotherhood, a hierarchy. a machine that processed men into soldiers and soldiers into statistics.